Marriott Bonvoy is the official hotel partner of US Soccer. Join Marriott Bonvoy today to get closer to the game with exclusive perks, unforgettable experiences, and benefits that go beyond the pitch. Spring Hill Suites, part of Marriott Bonvoy, offers complimentary hot breakfast and spacious all-suite accommodations, perfect for the whole team, with room for up to 6 guests. Make your next getaway a win. Learn more at springhillsuites.marriott.com.
Welcome to the Dogs Podcast with your hosts, Blake Reneker, Justin Charles, and Josh All.
Well, what's up, Browns fans? Welcome back to another episode, a bonus episode this week of the Dogs Podcast. Josh All coming back to you guys again, hitting up a listener mailbag segment here today. Probably a shorter, quicker episode, but you guys just keep sending in the messages and the voicemails, and I don't want to wait until Sunday or next Tuesday or whenever to get to some of you guys' input, your thoughts, your feedback on the team. And today's focus, this is not planned whatsoever, but I got all these messages from you guys, and every single one of them pertains to Shedeur Sanders and the Browns' future at quarterback. So might as well do an episode segment here quick, talking about Shedeur, talking about the Browns' quarterback options moving into 2026, and what you guys think about the whole situation. So that's what we're here to do today. Remember, if you want to get your thoughts, opinions, questions on the show, head to thedogspodcast.com, tap leave voicemail in the drop-down menu. You can record your message, listen to it back, re-record it if you don't like it, send it in. And then if you also do not want to have your voice on the show, you can just type a message and send it to the website, which is how we are going to start things today. So we'll open the show here with our first message, and this one is from Vinty on the website. Vinty says, I don't understand how you Sanders apologists can hold a consistent thought in your head for longer than 5 minutes. Great start to a message. Always love it when they open like that. He says, you say you want the Browns to run with Sanders next year, and then in the next breath say Kevin and everyone else needs to go. The only possible way that the Browns go with Sanders next year is if Kevin is still here. There is 0% chance a new coach and GM would pass on drafting their own guy and stay with a physically very talented kid who needs a lot of work on the mental side of playing quarterback in the NFL. So if you, a Sanders apologist, want him to play, you should be dead set on Kevin and Barry staying. This is where I got tricked in this message. He then says, I like what I have seen from Sanders and would like to see the Browns try to build around him. I would love to see them get Tate in the draft because that is what I would like to see. I realize Kevin needs to stay, and to make that a reality, it's very obvious and simple. So when Vinty starts saying and calling us Sanders apologists, I thought, okay, well, this guy clearly does not want the Browns to roll with Shedeur Sanders next year, because I don't think anybody who calls anybody a Sanders apologist is also a Sanders apologist. See, I'm not a Sanders apologist, guys. If you've watched the show, me, Blake, Justin, we've all been very honest about what we've seen from Shedeur Sanders, and I'm not taking an extreme either way and saying the guy's the future of the franchise, sign him for the next 10 seasons. He's the guy. I'm also not saying he's a bust. Get rid of him. We need to move on next year, because it's been 4 games. 4 games, and what he's shown over that time is exactly what you would expect to see, whether he was drafted in the 1st round or the 5th round from a rookie quarterback. He's a rookie quarterback. He's going to make some mistakes. But the thing is, the positive stuff that he does, the great plays that he's made, the arm talent that he has shown, those are not 5th round quarterback traits. Okay? So I am evaluating him with the understanding that, yes, he was taken in the 5th round, but yes, he was also projected as a 1st round talent, and he had a super late start. And the thing is, the Browns told us over and over and over, this guy is so far behind on, the understanding the nuances of the NFL and the language and, breaking a huddle and post and pre-snap reads, all this stuff. Well, he didn't get any work with the first team all through the summer and everything. And I understand that they were working with him on the side and trying to help him develop in those areas. And maybe that worked. Maybe that is what happened. Maybe that was successful, because once he finally got on the field, we have seen consistent development each week that he has played. And yes, I'm talking about the Chicago Bears game as well. Was it a better game for him statistically than the Titans game? No, it certainly was not. It was a step back in the stat sheet for Shedeur Sanders, but we're still seeing him navigate the pocket, trying to step up, make throws, keep his eyes downfield, go through his progressions, do the things that NFL quarterbacks need to do to be successful. Did he take some sacks late in the game whenever we were getting clobbered and he was just trying to get some points on the board? Yes, we have seen that not just from him, but from every quarterback that's ever played in the NFL. So I'm getting a little too off track here with my take on Shedeur, but to get back to Vinty's message, I agree. Obviously, we've said this multiple times on the show. I think you're absolutely right. If the Browns fire Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry, that means they clean house, get rid of this regime, which I want them to do. Okay, that is what I want them to do. I don't believe that you can roll into another season with any of these decision makers in the building. I just don't think you can do it. That does pose an issue for Shedeur Sanders and his future as the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, because the new head coach and GM, just like you said, Vinty, will have no allegiance to him. They're going to want to get their guy that they want to build around in the draft. That is all very well and true. That is also assuming that we are in the right position in the draft to take the guy they want. And I understand we have 2 first-round picks. We do have the ammo to trade up. But so do other teams, okay? This is where the whole bidding war thing comes in. Like, if you're not landing a top 2 pick, because as of right now, as of this recording, December 17th, 2025, I see 2 prospects worth taking in the first round. That's Fernando Mendoza. He will go number 1. So unless you land the number 1 overall pick, you are going to have to give up your other first-round pick and other assets to get to number 1, if that's the quarterback you want. The other guy is Dante Moore out of Oregon. Probably going to go number 2 in the draft, 2 or 3. If you're not in the top 3, your chances of landing one of those guys without giving up significant capital to do so is pretty slim. So we'll see how everything goes. It's really hard to project out how things are going to play out without knowing where we're picking for sure, who the coach is, did we get rid of the GM, all that kind of stuff. So this is a conundrum. Vinty, I'm with you. I am with you. But yes, in the same breath, I will say I would like at this moment. Now, obviously, things could change. I haven't done all my prospect evaluation stuff yet. I haven't even started. I don't do that until after the season is over. I watch college football, take away some things from and notes and stuff from the season, but actual film breakdowns and studying things, I don't worry about that until after the season, until I know where the Browns are positioned. That being said, at this point, I would like to move forward with Shedeur and build around him. In the same breath, I will say we got to get rid of AB, Kevin, clean house. I understand that it poses an issue. There's a little bit of a, double-edged sword there. If you want Sanders, then you probably got to keep these guys. If you want to get rid of these guys, you're probably not going to keep Sanders. Is there a way that we can get rid of these guys and still keep Sanders as the quarterback? Just remember, Jimmy Haslam will still, no matter which direction the team decides to go, Jimmy will still be the owner. Jimmy will still have input. And if Jimmy wants Shedeur Sanders to have 2026 as the team starter, no matter who the coaching staff is and who the front office is, then it will happen. So again, just got to wait and see how it goes. Vinty, appreciate the message. Again, I don't know what Sanders apologist means. I don't think we've ever made excuses for him, because if you watch the games, again, you said yourself that you like what you've seen from Sanders. So, I mean, are you attributing a lot of the, negative things to him solely, or are we not considering, of course, we have no receivers. Our offensive line is terrible. Our coaching is terrible. Again, another season with Shedeur as the quarterback, with Kevin Stefanski as the coach, I don't think changes anything. I don't think it gets any better. Shedeur might continue to progress as much as he can within this craptastic offense. I don't care who else you get to put around him. It's still going to be a Kevin Stefanski offense, and I want nothing to do with Kevin Stefanski offense anymore. So that is where I stand currently at the moment. Remember, guys, the countdown to Black Monday is on. All right, let's get to our first voicemail today. Mike called back in and left another one. Let's hear what Mike has to say.
I forgot to say in the last voicemail that I love the show. I love everything you guys are doing and your takes. I just wanted to say that I do think that Shedeur is your franchise. And the reason that I think that is not because I am a fan of Shedeur, but because I watch how he plays. Yes, in college, he did a lot of drifting backwards and he's always trying to make a play and all that stuff. But you notice that when he got to the NFL, all those sacks that he was taking in college, you notice he's not doing that now in the NFL, right? You guys notice that he steps up in the pocket more in the NFL, right? So I know y'all are looking for the changes in the learning curves, and that's what he's showing everyone. He's showing that what he went on the field and what he messed up at, he comes back and he looks over in film and he applies it and changes it in the game and it looks better. So he shows you that he can actually grow. So looking at him, you know he's deadly accurate because look at that pass to Jerry Jeudy. There's not a lot of rookies that are making that pass, man. And then on top of that, you can build around him. He's able and he's capable and he could do it.
I will say, Mike, I completely agree. I think Shedeur Sanders is a very highly intelligent quarterback. I think, to your point, his ability to go watch film and really evaluate himself, I think that he is very strong self-awareness. I think he's very critical of his own play, and I think he is very honest about what he sees from himself in the film, and he gets better. And the thing is, we talked about a couple weeks ago against the 49ers, he missed Jerry Jeudy twice on that that deep seam route down the field, and the first time he just overthrew him. The second time he didn't even see him. What happened the very next week against the Titans? He hit that same play for a 60-yard touchdown. Okay, experience. That is the one thing that Shedeur Sanders is really lacking. Like if you said, what is the one thing Shedeur Sanders needs to work on the most or is lacking the most? It's just experience. It's none of his actual traits that he's either lacking or deficient in. It's just the experience. And the only way to gain the experience is to play the game. That's it. Snaps. Get him reps. Get him more time behind center, running the offense, working out the kinks, learning how to play in the NFL. And that goes for any rookie quarterback. It doesn't matter where they were taken or who they were as a prospect. Everybody starts with the stat sheet of zeros and the experience of nothing. And you build from that once you get into the league. And that is exactly what he is doing. Now, he got a late start to this whole thing because, in my opinion, we wasted a lot of time with Dillon Gabriel through training camp and practices and the preseason, and then the games that he started and played in this year. We just wasted a lot of time. There are, you can watch a rookie quarterback. Again, said this the other day on the show. I've watched a lot of them as a Browns fan over the last 30 years. Watched a lot of rookie quarterbacks take snaps for this team. And you can pretty much tell real quick which quarterback has traits and abilities that are indicative of success in the league and which ones don't have anything. Dillon Gabriel didn't have anything, okay? We saw enough of him, and people will still say, well, how can you say, you've still seen enough from Shedeur, but you didn't see enough from Dillon? I watched the games. I still have had nobody really make a strong argument about anything that Dillon specifically did during his time as the starter that should, give him more opportunity in the future. What did he ever do that made you say, wow, that's a franchise quarterback throw right there? Shedeur makes franchise quarterback throws every week. Okay. And the drifting back in the pocket. Okay. And I know you're mentioning this, Mike, because I'm with you. People have been harping on this since the pre-draft process, since college for Shedeur. It is not happening in the NFL. When is he drifting back in the pocket, drifting back, taking negative 20-yard sacks? The only time you even see a glimmer of that happen is, again, late in games when we're already getting killed and we're just desperately trying to do something. Whenever the game is still within reach or still at least somewhat competitive, he's not doing those things. He is correcting these things by the week. So one thing that comes to mind when we talk about that too, how did you guys watch Caleb Williams? And this is a serious question. Like, did you watch Caleb Williams at USC in college before he was drafted number 1 overall as the next generational quarterback prospect, all this stuff? Did you watch him last year at all with the Bears? I believe he took more sacks than any other quarterback in the NFL last year as a rookie. Caleb Williams did the same thing, the same issues that Shedeur Sanders had in college. Drifting back, trying to extend plays, trying to get the ball downfield, holding the ball too long. And what did it do last year as a rookie in Chicago? Translated right into the NFL. Right into the NFL. Most sacked quarterback last year. If there was somebody that was sacked more than him, correct me in the comments, but I am pretty sure he was the most sacked quarterback in the NFL last year. Shedeur Sanders isn't taking a whole lot of sacks. At least when the games are competitive and he's not trying to press the ball downfield and make something happen. It's just, I think he's getting an unfair evaluation from a lot of people. Rather, I think people are evaluating the name and the hype from whatever it might be, media, the fan base, however you want to see it, instead of just actually evaluating him for what he is, and that is a rookie quarterback in the NFL.
This episode is sponsored by Baden Sports. Browns fans, we have had Christmas decorated all over the place since November 1st. That's right. It is coming up very quickly, Christmas time. And the best thing you can do is get ahead of your gift giving list and go to badensports.com/dogs, DAWGS, and check out everything they have to offer and use promo code DOGS to get 10% off your entire order. You could find some really nice Christmas gifts for the athletes in your life. Obviously, baseball season would be right around the corner in the spring. They've got training balls. They've got regular game baseballs, bats, baseball gloves, all sorts of basketballs and other gear, pumps, ball bags, gym bags, things like that for your basketball players. And then the gifts that I really like to give family members and people like that would be the backyard games. Get those for Christmas gifts because then they can hold on to those and break them out when the weather gets nice. And it's like that Christmas gift that didn't get used right away at Christmas, and they get to experience that joy again later in the year. Badminton, outdoor volleyball, bocce, horseshoes, kickball. They've got a knockout game set. And of course, pickleball, which I know I've been saying on here I need to learn how to play. I haven't yet, but I do plan to learn at some point, and I will be getting my first pickleball set from Baden Sports. So head over to badensports.com/dogs and get 10% off your entire order with promo code DOGS, DAWGS, when you check out. That's Baden Sports, BADEN sports.com/dogs.
Marriott Bonvoy is the official hotel partner of US Soccer. Join Marriott Bonvoy today to get closer to the game with exclusive perks, unforgettable experiences, and benefits that go beyond the pitch. Spring Hill Suites, part of Marriott Bonvoy, offers complimentary hot breakfast and spacious all-suite accommodations, perfect for the whole team, with room for up to 6 guests. Make your next getaway a win. Learn more at springhillsuites.marriott.com.
Hey, this is Steve Gorman, radio host, sports commentator, former drummer for the Black Crowes. The winter holidays are here, a time for festive celebrations, family gatherings, and ringing in the new year. Whether it's a holiday party, a night out with friends, or just relaxing by the fire with a few drinks, it's a season full of good cheer. But here's something else to add to your holiday plans, a safe and sober ride home. Just like in sports and music, always have a game plan. And the most important part of any plan is sticking to it. If you plan to drink, take that plan a step further. Call a rideshare, a taxi, a sober friend, or have a designated driver lined up before the night begins. Drinking and driving is a decision that can change your life and the lives of others forever. A DUI, a crash, an injury. The consequences are real and lasting. So please, for your sake and for everyone else on the road, make the smart choice. Get a sober ride home. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
This episode is sponsored by Kalshi. Browns fans, are you ready to put your money where your predictions are? With Kalshi, America's #1 regulated prediction market, you can legally trade on events that actually matter to you. And the best part is you don't need to predict specific stat lines and compile a 7-leg parlay just to win big. With Kalshi, the objective is either yes or no. Will the Browns win their game this week? Will Quinshon Judkins score a touchdown? Will Carson Schlesinger win Defensive Rookie of the Year? You can put your money on these predictions and more with Kalshi. If you want to try it out, all you have to do is sign up at kalshi.com/dogs. That's KALSHI.com/dogs, DAWGS, and trade $100. Get away from disadvantageous sportsbooks and dive into real-world outcomes with real-time odds and real payouts. Head over to kalshi.com/dogs or click the link in the description to get $20 when you trade $100 with Kalshi. Because why shouldn't you get paid for being right? Thanks again, Mike, for the voicemail. Hope to hear from you again. Hannah is up next.
What's up, guys? It's Hannah from down in Dayton again. Listen, this is my second time calling. I was, scrolling and came across a video of the Browns will miss their opportunity of Shedeur Sanders being their guy for the number one reason that there's so much hype around him. And the NFL is trying to make as most money as they can, right? Shedeur Sanders is going to fill their seats. He is going to, do those things. And that guy was right. But here's my thing. I just pulled up some stats. Shedeur Sanders is selling jerseys. He is number one Browns player. People want his jersey. He's number one. So then my next question was, who is buying Dylan Gabriel jerseys? And there is no public record of how many people. He doesn't even make the top 50 list. So I'm just saying I think we found our quarterback, and I think they need to let him play. They need to give him a good O-line and let him play. Just thought I'd send that in. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, Hannah, that's very fair. And I honestly, you guys know how I feel. I don't think we really even need to talk about Dylan Gabriel anymore in the Browns quarterback conversation. That was a massive whiff by the Browns. And, I think that might be where the big rift between Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski came into play, because I think obviously Andrew Berry took a liking to Shedeur Sanders, and I think he probably would have taken Shedeur Sanders earlier in the draft. But this is just my belief. Again, no reporting, no facts, no nothing. This is just my speculation. But I'm speculating that Kevin Stefanski is the one who really fell in love with Dylan Gabriel, made the strong push to get Dylan Gabriel. And so I think Andrew Berry said, okay, fine. Then this is what I'm going to do at the top of the draft. I'm going to trade back, take some of these players, fill out the roster where I want to. And then, Kevin got his wish to get Dylan. It's just such a shame because, we could have had the offensive guard that the Patriots took after that Dylan Gabriel pick, Jared Wilson. We could have had Xavier Watts, who I wanted at that pick. I wanted Xavier Watts, the safety who the Falcons ended up taking out of Notre Dame. I wanted him in the second round. Okay. And when he was available late third round, it was that was a no-brainer pick. We should have taken him. Instead, we wasted a pick on Dylan Gabriel, who I don't think will ever be suitable for the NFL. He might be able to fill in relief here and there, maybe take a spot start as a backup a couple times over his career. But, the whole sentiment that, Dylan Gabriel's got a long NFL career, he'll be a backup in this league for a long time, that I don't see as the future. Maybe I'm wrong. Just don't see it. I'm with you, Hannah. The Browns, it is a very interesting predicament that now we are going to be discussing all the way until April. And it is what it is. Welcome to life as a Browns fan if you're new. Do we draft the quarterback in the top 5? Do we roll with the 5th round pick that showed some promise but didn't really have a fair shot? Because imagine if the Browns did have a good offensive line, or at least an average offensive line. And imagine if we had at least one good NFL wide receiver on this team, and then maybe a second decent NFL wide receiver, a Khalif Raymond or somebody that can actually make plays and be a reliable target for a quarterback in the NFL. How much different would Shedeur Sanders' season be looking right now if he had those things to work with? What if we had a head coach or an offensive system that actually worked? What if we had a team that actually came out on Sundays and looked prepared and actually
played disciplined and didn't have miscommunications and, have the wrong play sheet in the wristband and make stupid penalties and start every drive, 1st and 20. Like, I don't know. We might not even be having this conversation. Unfortunately, this is the reality that we are forced to live with as Browns fans. So get ready for the roller coaster ride that will be the next, 3 months or whatever until April. All right. Let's, last voicemail today. This is from Zach, a.k.a. Fake Burns.
What's up? This is Zach, a.k.a. Fake Burns. It's been a while since I've submitted a voicemail. Just haven't really had much to say about the Browns. Still watching the games. Obviously, I was one of those tough soldiers last game that stuck it out to see if Miles would break the record. Still kind of BS. They took that half sack away from him. But nonetheless, don't really think we have much. I don't think we have a shot at all against the Bills this weekend. I mean, this would be the game we'd win, and then we lose the rest of the year. But the main reason I sent in a voicemail today is because I kind of wanted to give my opinion on the draft conversation, because that's mainly what I've been doing. In my free time, I'll look up mock drafts and stuff. And every time I see one that has the Browns taking a quarterback, I'm sorry. I think it's invalid, because I don't see how we could just keep repeating the same exact thing we're doing every year. And with that, Shedeur has showed at least a little bit of promise to where we can fill our other pieces. If we do end up with the first pick or the second pick or the third pick, I think it would be great to trade down a couple picks and get more draft capital to fill those holes. Take either Tate or Tyson, whoever's there. And I guess that's also a question I have for you guys. Do you guys think that taking Tate is a little biased because we're OSU fans, or do you think that he is truly better than Tyson? Just want to get your opinion there. Go Browns.
First of all, Jake, see, I'm doing it already. Zach, I appreciate how you have just embraced the fake Jake Burns persona. If you guys have missed, Zach calling in before, we played a couple of his voicemails previously on episodes after games, and Blake is just convinced that Zach is actually Jake Burns calling in under a pseudonym, because his voice, Zach, your voice really does sound like Jake Burns from Browns Film Breakdown. So if you guys haven't listened to Jake or watched any of his stuff, go check it out and tell me that we're wrong, because I don't think we are. But Zach, aka Fake, we appreciate the voicemail. And to talk about the well, first of all, let's go to the Shedeur thing. Yes, I've said it before on this episode, and I'm going to say it now again. Don't hold me to any takes. I do not suffer from take lock. Okay, that is one thing that I try to be very fluid in. I try to be very go with the flow with news and information with the NFL. It's December 17th, 2025. And right now, I think that the Browns' best option for next year would be give Shedeur Sanders an offseason to prepare, give him an entire, training camp and summer and all that kind of stuff, preseason to get ready, and then let him have 2026 as a starting quarterback while you put pieces around him and see what he can do. I know guys like Quincy Carrier on YouTube, very adamant that the Browns need to take a quarterback. Like, if the Browns have a shot at taking either Mendoza or Dante Moore, they need to do it. I'm not going to attack anybody for their view on this, because I think you can make an argument either way. And I wouldn't be surprised if at some point here in the next couple months, I change my opinion. It's very possible. Again, like I said at the beginning of the show, I have not done my prospect evaluations yet. So I need to go watch tape and actually do film study on Dante Moore, on Fernando Mendoza, to see how I feel, because this time last year, I wasn't really sure how I felt about the quarterbacks. And then as soon as I started watching film, that's whenever I got to okay, if the Browns can get Cam Ward, they need to get Cam Ward, because I loved what I saw on tape. And then I was like, if they can't get Cam Ward, they need to take Shedeur Sanders at 2, because we have to get a quarterback. And Shedeur Sanders was the next best thing after Cam Ward that I saw on tape that said, this guy can play in the NFL. And then it was Jackson Dart, who I was one of the first people, if you guys remember, Justin remembers this vividly, because we had a lot of conversations behind the scenes about Jackson Dart. It was about this time last year, maybe early January, right after Christmas. I said, Jackson Dart, by the time April comes, he will be a first-round pick. just because of what I was seeing on the tape. So maybe things change once I break down more in Mendoza. I already believe Fernando Mendoza will be and probably should be the first overall pick. There's so many QB needy teams, especially in the top 5, that he's going to be the top pick for somebody. My question is, what will I find from Dante Moore when I do that film study? But right now, especially if we're picking 4 or 5, just roll with Shedeur. Just roll with Shedeur. And yes, I am an Ohio State. I went to Ohio State. I'm an Ohio State fan. I love the Buckeyes. That's my team. That is not the only reason why I want the Browns to take Carnell Tate over Jordan Tyson. Again, haven't done the prospect evaluations from the film study side of things. Jordan Tyson, what I know about him is he is a great player when he is on the field. That's the issue. Injuries have been a big thing for him all throughout college. And listen, if you have an injury history in college football, a constant, consistent injury history, and you're constantly missing time in college, it's very unlikely to get a whole lot better at the NFL level. Typically, guys miss more time in the NFL than they ever missed in college because it's just a different level of the sport and all that kind of stuff. So if you're already dealing with a lot of injuries in college football, it just doesn't make me all warm and cozy for you as an NFL prospect. Carnell Tate, injury thing aside, I do think Carnell Tate is actually more talented than Jordan Tyson. And it's not like an anti-Jordan Tyson thing. It is I have watched Carnell Tate. First of all, I watched him last year when he was behind Jeremiah Smith and Emeka Egbuka. And Carnell Tate still did things on the field that I was like, ooh, that's going to be... Yeah, I knew last year that Emeka Egbuka would be the first-round pick from Ohio State in 2025. And I knew it. I was like, we've got first-round picks 3 in a row here. You got Egbuka in 25. You got this Carnell Tate kid. He's going to be a first-round pick in 26. And then obviously we already knew Jeremiah Smith would be a first-round pick in 2027. But Carnell Tate, what I love about him, not only is he a great route runner, he's very similar to Egbuka as far as coming out of college. He's going to be a quarterback's best friend because he's got such a pro-ready, mature understanding of how to play the position, wide receiver. And he doesn't have like the top end speed that's just going to burn anybody. But again, that was Anthony Schwartz, and look how that turned out. I don't care about your top end speed. Because again, I think Mike Evans says this a lot. Drake London's the same way. These bigger bodied receivers, these contested catch guys, that's what they kind of specialize in college. They can get open on a 9 route down the sideline, not with their speed and just blowing by a guy, but by their route running and their route savvy. So Carnell Tate has that. And then when it comes to contested catches down the field, Unless I'm off on my numbers, I think he is 12 of 14 for this season. Only 2 50-50 balls down the field thrown up to Carnell Tate that he did not come down with. He would just fit so well. First of all, he'll fit so well in the NFL no matter where he goes. But with a quarterback like Shedeur Sanders that loves to take the deep shot, you got Isaiah Bond who can beat people straight up with his speed. And then you got a guy like Carnell Tate that can beat you pretty much anywhere on the field. He can line up inside, outside. He can beat you underneath in the middle of the field and then obviously down deep. I just think that is a no-brainer pick for a team that has not had an elite level NFL alpha wide receiver 1 since Josh Gordon. So please, Cleveland, do the right thing and get that type of receiver, even if it's not Carnell Tate, another guy that I'm really coming on to. And again, like I can't wait to really dive into like wide receiver evaluations because in the first round right now, I'm looking at guys like obviously Carnell Tate, Jordan Tyson, but I'm looking at Mekhi Lemon out of USC. I know he's a smaller receiver, but man, the dude is a stud. He won the Biletnikoff Award in college football this year, and he's just a baller. He's a baller. I'm excited to break down his tape. I think he's going to be a good NFL receiver. Will he be like an elite level wide receiver? I don't know. I haven't, again, I'll come away with some of those opinions after studying him. The other guy is Denzel Boston out of Washington. Big body contested catch guy, sort of giving me at this moment in time, again, I got to go look at the film, but he's kind of giving me Tedrow McMillan vibes. Maybe not quite to the high end level coming out of college that Tet was last year. But that's sort of what I'm seeing from a guy like Denzel Boston. You guys let me know what you think. I know there's people that watch this show and listen to the show that do way more prospect evaluations throughout the college football season than I do, because I'm busy doing Browns. I'm doing Browns reporting, Browns content creation, all through social media, creating the podcast, putting the stuff out for you guys. So I don't have the time to do the evaluation of prospects that I'd like to do. Maybe at some point in the future, we'll be able to expand our team here at the Dogs Podcast and have somebody or a crew of guys or gals, a crew of people, very dedicated to prospect evaluations throughout the college football season, leading into draft season, all that kind of stuff. So again, your guys' support, as I wrap up this episode, your guys' support truly does help this show grow, because again, it's an independent podcast. We run this ourselves. I manage it. It's a self-run business, all this kind of stuff. And we operate on your support. So if you want to help support the show, jointhedogs.com. That's where you can support us on the Patreon. And then, right there, you become an official Dog Pack member. And then if you want to take your support just beyond monetary, you can go and be part of the private Discord, get into the Dog Pack community with all the diehard Browns fans that are in there. And, I love hearing your voicemails and your messages throughout the week. And if you want to actually come on the show and have a one-on-one conversation for a little bit, you can do that on the Discord live episodes. And that is all through jointhedogs.com. Okay, I'm going to wrap this thing up. Thank you, Mike, Hannah, Fake Burns, Zach, and Vinty from the website. Thank you for dropping all of your thoughts and opinions and questions here and giving me some content to break down a quick bonus listener mailbag episode for you guys this week. Tomorrow afternoon, 5 p.m. Eastern, will be the Dog Pack Discord live for this week, previewing the Bills game on Sunday. Spoiler alert, I already told you guys my score prediction already is 41-6, Bills over the Browns. I think James Cook has 100 yards and 2 touchdowns minimum in this game on Sunday. It's going to be a bloodbath. So there are things, obviously, that we're looking for and watching for from the Browns. I detailed all that stuff on yesterday's episode, so go back and watch that if you missed it. Thanks again to everybody chiming in today, talking about Shedeur Sanders. Let everybody know in the comments as you follow along. What do you think? Are you guys on board? Just forget quarterback in 2026. Right now, we're already declaring, let's just roll with Shedeur Sanders, build around him, and see how it goes next year. Do you guys want to take a quarterback if we have a top 2 or 3 pick? And if so, who are you gunning for right now? Is it Mendoza? Is it Moore? Is it Ty Simpson? I hope not, but maybe it is. If it is, let me know why, because clearly I don't believe in Ty Simpson, at least as a prospect right now. And should we fire the coach if we should? Is there anybody you are already kind of high on that you'd like to replace him? Do you want to get rid of Andrew Berry in the front office as well? What do you guys want to do? Love hearing from you, and I love incorporating everything that you guys think and feel and believe into the show, because, again, it's a show for fans, by fans. That's the way it's always been. That's the way it's always going to be. So with that, I will see you guys tomorrow. Discord Dog Pack live at 5 p.m. If you're not in the Discord, you will get the episode later in the evening after it's edited and published. We'll see you guys then. Hey, drop some predictions for the Bills game now so I can kind of see what everybody's thinking, and I'll talk about it tomorrow on the show. See you guys tomorrow.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dogs Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at the Dogs Podcast. Get your thoughts on the show at thedogspodcast.com.
This episode is sponsored by Kalshi. Browns fans, are you ready to put your money where your predictions are? With Kalshi, America's #1 regulated prediction market, you can legally trade on events that actually matter to you. And the best part is you don't need to predict specific stat lines and compile a 7-leg parlay just to win big. With Kalshi, the objective is either yes or no. Will the Browns win their game this week? Will Quinshon Judkins score a touchdown? Will Carson Schlesinger win Defensive Rookie of the Year? You can put your money on these predictions and more with Kalshi. If you want to try it out, all you have to do is sign up at kalshi.com/dogs. That's KALSHI.com/dogs SHI.com/dogs, DAWGS, and trade $100. Get away from disadvantageous sportsbooks and dive into real-world outcomes with real-time odds and real payouts. Head over to Kalshi.com/dogs or click the link in the description to get $20 when you trade $100 with Kalshi, because why shouldn't you get paid for being right?
Marriott Bonvoy is the official hotel partner of US Soccer. Join Marriott Bonvoy today to get closer to the game with exclusive perks, unforgettable experiences, and benefits that go beyond the pitch. Spring Hill Suites, part of Marriott Bonvoy, offers complimentary hot breakfast and spacious all-suite accommodations, perfect for the whole team, with room for up to 6 guests. Make your next getaway a win. Learn more at springhillsuites.marriott.com.
If you're the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, you know having a trusted partner makes all the difference. That's why, hands down, you count on Grainger for auto reordering. With on-time restocks, your team will have the cut-resistant gloves they need at the start of their shift. And you can end your day knowing they've got safety well in hand. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.